return of Police Forum on 88.5 Super FM. Join us for a 1 hour calling show with our new host, Inspector Rene.
Hello, Sufre. I am Inspector Rene. On Police Forum, we will explore important topics on community policing and safety. I'm here to answer your questions and work with you to make our community a safer place.
Every Friday at 10 a.m., tune in to 88.5 Super FM for an informative and educational hour with Inspector Rene.
Your concerns matter. Let's discuss how we can collaboratively enhance the safety and well-being of our town.
Police Forum with Inspector Rene, bringing you the information and answers you need. That's every Friday at 10 a.m. on 88.5 Super FM. 88.5 Super FM, your voice, your lights.
A wonderful good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Police Forum. Let me first welcome everyone to our show. As you're aware, Police Forum is our version of educating and informing the people of our community of Soufrière and Choiseul of the excellent work that the police have been doing, and also to continue to educate them on the changes, the different amendments, legislations, the activities that will impact their lives on a daily basis. Before I commence, let me say a pleasant good morning to the Office of the Commissioner of Police, to my colleagues at the Soufrière Police Station, to all police officers serving throughout the length and breadth of this country. Policing, as I've always said, is a passion. It is a dedication that, you don't just decide to be a police officer, but you must commit to it. It's a vocation, really, where you have to make so much sacrifice, really, to serve and protect. You have to risk family, life, limb to save the citizens of this country. And I want to commend every single police officer who on a daily basis go out there to support and protect the people of St. Lucia. We know it is a challenge. We know crime is evolving. We know there are the criminals have become bolder, but at the end of the day, we must continue to ensure that we maintain that level of confidence in us by the populace, because this is what we have been employed to do. Let me say a fantastic good morning to my officers at the Soufrière and Choiseul Police Station. Even though I am the head of the station, without them, without the team effort, without the camaraderie, we will not be able to accomplish all the fantastic work that we have been doing. And I want to continue to employ them to continue doing, the great work, continue being out there, making the presence felt, allowing the people to gain that confidence in them. And you could only do that by interacting with the public, by responding to their requests and their reports as expeditiously as possible. Policing, just like any other service, requires a high level of customer service. And the public, although they are victims, are our customers. And it's our job to provide the highest level of service to each and everyone, who come to us for assistance. There must be an intervention at any point in time, because the matter might appear to be as trivial as possible. However, if not dealt with expeditiously, can escalate and result in a violent crime and possibly death. We could see what has been happening over the past weeks, and even our most recent homicide in Dennery. I don't have the full details, but from the information I am getting, that the incident happened over a cigarette, where the suspect requested a cigarette from the victim, and because of that, it escalated to a stabbing incident, and today somebody is dead. So at the end of the day, the most minor of matters we must address. Let me say fantastic good morning to all my people in Soufrière, the people who normally I interact with on a daily basis, the members of staff of the SRDF, the security personnel at the waterfront. Father, good morning to you. Fantastic good morning to Gromack Zone. Fantastic good morning to the mayor of Soufrière, to Mr. Rene and Mr. Gustav. Those are the persons who on a daily basis interact with my officers and, provide us some of the insights that, on how we can improve, our work. Let me say good morning to Miss Portia Shabatis, my diarist at the Soufrière Police Station. She's one of the officers I could say I am proud of. A customer service level, her professionalism is one that is exemplary, and I want her to continue doing the fantastic work that she has been doing. Has been with us for a very long time, and we want to let her know that we continue to value her contribution, that she makes every single day. Let me say good morning to the Shrewsbury Police. Although you are not in Soufriere, but you are an instrumental part of protecting and keeping the people of Soufriere safe, because from Beaufort, from the southern coast, the traffic must pass through your jurisdiction. And with the regular traffic checks that you guys have been doing, the regular work that you have been doing, you have been keeping our road network safe, and keeping the people of Soufriere safe. Let me say a fantastic good morning to the Southern Division, Mr. Albert Shabi, Divisional Officer, and his team for the fantastic work. For now, we could see there has been some level of calm in Viewport, and that is as a result of the pressure that the police in the Southern Division, and I could tell you, the approach of the divisional officer is not one where he is just about Viewport, but it's about the division. Every effort, every action, every activity is treated at a divisional level, and that's why when we have activities in Soufriere, you could see that there is a high police presence, a high police visibility, because it's not just the Soufriere or Shrewsbury Police, but it's officers from as far as Meacoud, Viewfort Library coming to support us, and vice versa. When there are activities in the South, we have to provide support. And this is what makes policing what it is. This is what creates a successful policing environment. I continue to hear the discussion about we need to get a good commissioner of police. And albeit I agree with that, but the commissioner of police is only one individual, and policing is not a one-man show. Policing is an organizational effort. Every single body doing the little part, the basics to ensure the patrols on the streets, the investigations, the statement taking, the interviewing of the suspects and witnesses, every action by every police officer coming to court and coming to court on time, informing your witnesses and victims of the court date, the disclosure of your file. Every single aspect of policing contributes to the holistic policing effort. If one fails, then it impacts every single other aspect. And I say that to mean that, for example, if the police presence on the street, the mere beat and patrol presence, if that is not present, then what you have is your opportunity for crime, which now adds additional pressure on your criminal investigation team, because with an increased crime on the streets, you need more investigators at the CID. And now with the CID having more cases before the court, then you need more prosecutors to prosecute those matters, and then now you see how it impacts the entire criminal justice system. With more matters before the court, you need more lawyers and judges and magistrates, and then now it goes down to the court office. You need more staff at the court office because you have a high volume of crime. You have more court matters on a daily basis. So it clearly shows that this is not a one-man show. This is not an individual show, but it is a team effort. And I employ every single police officer to do your part, do the little that you can to contribute to the holistic development of the organization. And today, speaking of not being a one-man show, I am not the only person on the show today. With me, I have a guest, like I try to do every Friday, is to try to add a different perspective, a different person to the show. And with me, I have today Police Constable 627 Laffey, who is the lead officer within our traffic department. Good morning, Officer Laffey. How are you doing?
Good morning, super people. Okay.
Mr. Laffey, can you tell us about yourself? Give us a little background on who you are, what your role, some of the training you have received, because a lot of people, see a police officer and they don't understand, how much experience and exposure he or she has had over the years, how much training. And I know from a traffic perspective, you are very well-rounded traffic officer. So I want to allow you to just give a little background on who you are and, some of the training you've received and some of the excellent work you have done in Soufriere.
Actually, I'm presently 17 years in the traffic service. My most recent course I did in traffic was most advanced traffic investigation course in Barbados, which I did quite well. along with my other colleagues. It's my second tenure in Soufre, coming from Beaufort, in traffic again.
All right. And you're a specialist. Tell us what is your specialist role at the at Superstation.
My specialist investigating accidents and what some people fail, how will I put it? Not fail, I would say. I mean, I'm lost over the words on what I'm trying to say right now.
Yeah, you are one of our outriders and one of the best on the island. So Mr. Laffey is a traffic outrider. And tell us some of the rules and responsibility of a traffic outrider, because people believe it's just riding bike up and down the road. Tell us a little bit about that.
Outriders, we do dispatch around the island, not just particularly to one station. On any given day, we'll be sent any station on the island. We do traffic checks around the island. We issue tickets around the island. So it's not a Soufre issue or a Choiseul issue, it's an island issue. It is more accessible with us as the cyclists to go anywhere, see the offense being committed. We do what we have to do. We issue tickets, we charge, we investigate to make things a bit much easier on everybody else.
So what are you saying indirectly is that the highway patrol, the motorcyclist role is instrumental in proactive policing, in that, you know, you guys on a daily basis are out there, patrolling our highways, making sure that traffic violations are not committed, and we know that a motorcycle is quite mobile, so it allows you to be able to be flexible, to get to somewhere, in quick time, to be able to navigate through heavy traffic, so that you now could get to the head of the traffic and then now decide what is the obstruction, what needs to be cleared, what needs to be done. So I think that's a very important role when you look at crime reduction and crime control. Because from my policing experience, one thing I have realized that criminals too are very mobile, and one of the key instruments in criminality or crime commission is a getaway vehicle. And as long as you can control your streets as a police department, you can control the level of crime. You may not prevent it in its entirety, but you can control the level of crime happening within your various jurisdiction, because the criminals move from point A to point B. Sometimes a crime is committed in Soufre, but the perpetrator is not from Soufre. And the perpetrator himself want to get, after committing the crime, want to get as far as possible from Soufre so that he or she, is not intercepted by law enforcement. So it is important that we control our streets, and I think the motorcyclists play a very important role. So today I have with me Constable Anthony Laffey, who is a traffic officer, and our focus today will be traffic management, traffic violation, the importance of a proper traffic management system within any police department, within any districts. And the focus will be on the highway code. The highway code is a guideline. Every driver, anybody who has gone through driving school, should have had an exposure to the highway code, which basically tells you the do's and don'ts of driving. However, if you don't follow the rules and regulations specified by the highway code, then now there is the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, which is now the teeth to the highway code, basically enforcing the traffic laws of this country. So this is what allows the police to be able to stop you and to ticket you and even to arrest and charge you for different traffic infractions. And coming to Soufre, I have seen that Soufrians believe that they can do whatever they want, whenever they want along the highway. And this is of a concern to me, and that is why we took the time out today to really discuss traffic management and the traffic violation under Section 7, Part 7 of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act. That really specifies some of the violations that we should try avoid committing. And we'll go into that. And the legislation, we will not have enough time, Mr. Lafe, to be able to discuss the entire legislation in its entirety, but we will try to focus on Part 7, which speaks of traffic violations, traffic offenses, and the penalties for those offenses. Um, so, for example, I see quite a bit of violations on the streets. As we realize, Soufriere is a pretty small town with the streets haven't been designed a very, very long time ago, did not cater for the volume of traffic that we have today. And as a result, the streets are extremely narrow. So when you look at areas like Delia Street and you look at Bridge Street, Church Street, Frederick Clark Street, Maurice Mason Streets, in the Wingsville area, all those streets are pretty small, and as a result, may not be able to handle high traffic volume and also dual carriageway. So as a result, what has been instituted to try to curb that is basically create one-way streets in the Soufriere area to help facilitate the smooth flow of the traffic. So if you are coming into Soufriere from Vieux-Fort, Church Street is a dual carriageway. You could go both up and down. However, when you get onto Sir Louis Street, which is at the intersection of the church there, you could only head down.
Left or right?
Right? You could only turn left or right. You cannot. So going towards Allen, you could only head down and you can't head up. Turning right onto Bridge Street, and it's important that as Soufriere, we understand, and know our different streets, because I realize quite a few persons can speak about landmarks, but they can't draw a reference to the streets. So from there, you could only drive down onto to Bridge Street, right? And from Bridge Street now, you could yes, you could turn into Danny Alexander Street, and then now back onto Church Street, which is also a one-way, so you could only head north or up on that street. You cannot go the opposite direction, and that is basically because of the size of the road. We want to try to facilitate the smooth flow of traffic, that because if every single driver decides to delay the traffic by 1 minute, by the time 10 drivers do that, then you being the 11th driver, your journey has been delayed by 10 minutes, right? And if it continues, so what we try to encourage is a smooth flow of traffic along that route. However, we continue to see quite a bit of persons deliberately doing things to impede the smooth flow of traffic. And that is why we have Mr. Lafe there. And I know, when he came to Soufriere, he was given a title because of his aggressiveness towards the traffic management. So, Mr. Lafe, can you tell us how and why you were given that name, Just Tickets? Can you give us a background on that?
Background, it happened so long ago. My duties at the station was to put up signs. We didn't have erected signs, so we had to put the small wooden sign that we have now on both Church Street and Bridge Street to accommodate the free flow of traffic. It was an issue for certain persons to adhere to the signs, so I made it my duty to give the tickets, regardless of what excuse they would give, because the signs was there for a reason. And most people did not understood the reason why the signs were being placed.
Yeah.
Until that they were reached before the magistrate, and then they knew what it was there for.
Yeah. So, and that is important because people need to understand that we have emergency vehicles traversing that route almost on a daily basis. So, the fire truck, for example, and I see it happen every day, and I have made it clear that I will not allow it to happen on Maurice Mason Street, which is the waterfront, where the police station is located. So, I will not allow it to happen. you cannot have, you want to come to the bank, right? However, you believe that you have to park in front of the bank to enter the bank to transact your business. And in the process, you are now creating obstruction. On many occasions, I've seen, goods vehicles trying to access that street. However, for some reason, they are not getting through because somebody's at the bank transacting and believing that they could double park along that road. And I made clear that that will not be acceptable. And anybody, I said I wanted to use this forum to first announce it, that anybody who double parks along Maurice Mason Street to get to either access the bank or to go to the gas station or to go to Cool Breeze, because you feel that you do not want to find, you know, alternative parking, you will be ticketed, right? You will be ticketed because what you are doing is creating an obstruction for persons who are trying to access the road. If an emergency, if there's a fire, for example, people, the fire truck will not be able to traverse that road. And because of you, then now we are left with a situation where the fire gets out of control because one person was being insensitive, you know, and causing obstruction on the road. Also, what I see happening a lot, Mr. Laffy, right? And is that a lot of persons believe that they have a right, and business spaces too, that because the offloading zone is in front of their business, that or they see the offloading zone clear, that they could go park on that. Can you explain to us, Mr. Laffy, the purpose of an offloading zone and how long, somebody is supposed to stay on the offloading zone, and why they're supposed to be on the offloading zone in the first place?
An offloading zone is not issued to any one particular person or business. It used to be so before, and it was an issue. Right now, offloading zones are for everyone's use. The use of an offloading zone is you want to offload to whichever business that you want to offload to, you have half an hour to do that offloading. Upon that half hour is completed, you pack up your vehicle and you exit to allow somebody else to offload. You only have half an hour. If that hour has elapsed and you still have more goods to offload, all you have to do, inform the nearest police officer or you go to the station to inform them that you are still offloading. Because don't mind that we are still monitoring these offloading zones. We have officers on foot, and likewise myself on the cyclist. I am monitoring this, we timing it, and we will be issuing tickets upon seeing them.
Yes, and I'm happy that you're saying that it's being monitored, because everybody by now should realize also that the police have cameras throughout the town of Soufriere, and that is for the purpose of surveillance and monitoring for traffic violation. So anybody who is in violation of the traffic laws or is on a offloading zone, we can now verify, because you will come and say, "Oh, officer, I've just been there for 10 minutes." However, we could review our surveillance footage and tell you exactly what time you came in there and how long you've been in there. So, I employ the car users or the vehicle users to try our best to keep the offloading zone clear. And I see that especially on Maurice Mason Street, because the bank does have an offloading zone. And the purpose is for if you have short ATM pickup or drop off, that you just run into the ATM and you get out. That should not take you 40 minutes. However, we see people park, you know, on that offloading zone now, and the people who want to access the ATM machine don't have access to it, and as a result, engage in double parking along this street along Maurice Mason. And this is one area I've said, if there is one place I'm going to start with the enforcement of the law, is the street along the waterfront, because this is where the police station is. I will not be able to control Palmis. I will not be able to control Barons Drive. I'll not be able to control Font Saint Jacques if, firstly, I cannot control the street that the police station is located on. And I have made clear to my officers that anybody found double parking or violating any traffic offense along that street, we will make an example out of that person, and he or she will have to answer as to why he or she felt that they were comfortable enough to come and park in front of the police station to engage in illegal activities, because you are violating the law, and that will not be tolerated. Also for the business owners, right? We want to implore you that the offloading zone is not yours. The offloading, and I see certain business places in Soufriere are treating the offloading zone as if it is their property. The offloading zone is for patrons, who are, well, for one, offloading and unloading of goods, and for patrons who may want to use your business for a short period of time. We understand parking is difficult within the town, but there must be that control mechanism so that people are not going to rush in, get something, and get out. And as we speak, we are in, and you can confirm, Mr. Laffey, that we are in dialogue with the transport division to now, firstly, we started with the road signs. So as you realize, there are quite a number of road signs placed in and around the town of Soufriere. Yes, and we have quite a lot more to do. What can you tell us on that, Mr. Laffey?
Present, we have a number of erected signs, especially no parking, because we have certain streets that we have to keep free at all times. These streets, especially, for example, Safali Street, it is no stopping, no parking. These signs are erected to allow the free flow of traffic in case of an emergency. There is no waiting or no parking for any number of period of time. The markings on the roads will be
Yeah, well, we are waiting the transport division because I know they've having some difficulty with the equipment, but that was something that we should have done since last year, I think. Last year, where all the streets, for example, areas like Church Street, which we want cleared at all times, the double yellow lines should be placed there to ensure that no vehicle is causing obstruction. So when heavy equipment, is the trailers are traversing that route in and out of, so for a container is traversing, that there is no kind of obstruction. So Afali Street is another important street for us. Like we say, those are the key streets. Bridge Street again
Street.
also is a key street for us, and we try to ask everyone, try our best, try your best to ensure that those streets remain clear, and that to allow for the smooth flow of especially heavy equipment through the tongue of Soufriere, because we know our streets are narrow. We know that it's, there's quite a bit of traffic. So as much as possible, if you now can keep the streets clear, then now the emergency vehicles, the heavy equipment can move smoothly and not cause an obstruction. Just imagine somebody decides to park his vehicle or double park, and then you are now trying to get to work, or some tourists are trying to get to the airport. And we know we have taxi drivers who operate the route and transfer persons to and from the airport on a daily basis. And you are trying to get to the airport, but because somebody parks indiscriminately, a trailer, truck, or container is trying to access a street, it is not able to pass because somebody has parked their vehicle, and then that guest now loses his or her flight, or misses his or her flight, because somebody decided, you know what, it was convenient for them at the time to park right on that area, causing obstruction. So we employ persons to try to avoid that. So delving into the traffic ticket, Mr. Laffey, can you tell us a little more on the issuing of tickets, how they issued, why they issued, and what are the penalties for the various offenses within the ticket, and you can now, if you want to challenge a ticket, what you can do, and if that challenge fails, what happens to you as a vehicle operator or vehicle owner.
okay. Tickets are issued to persons who violate the laws, for example, parking in a prohibited area, obstructing traffic. And if that ticket happens to reach the court, you have the right to defend yourself as everybody else has that right. Upon the magistrate hearing the matter to see how the truth of the matter, if you are found guilty, I wouldn't say all the time it happens, but most of the time that ticket is doubled.
Yes.
It depends on your situation, it is doubled. And the price, even if you're paying, say, $200, it might be 400 because of the offense that you take the matter
Yes.
to court. Now, another thing some persons do when it comes to after they get the ticket, they will come to the station and say, "Officer, my vehicle broke down." That should have been done before you got the ticket, not after you get it.
Yep.
Because persons will come with all excuses to avoid the ticket.
Yes.
Now, if your vehicle break down, say for example on South Street, and there's a sign that says "No parking, no stopping," you have not informed the officer of anything. The officer is doing his normal rounds every day. He finds your vehicle there with nobody in it. It's well locked, no hazards, nothing's on. What do you expect the officer to do? You're already violating the laws. He will do what he has to do. And not after you get the ticket, then you come and say, "Oh, my vehicle break down. I don't know what to do." The first thing you do when your vehicle break down on the road is inform the police. Sometimes you inform the police officer and he's the one that gives you the help that you need.
Yes. And it's important that we understand. So a ticket is a fixed penalty offense. So there are certain fixed penalty offenses. And what fixed penalty means is, the price is already set. You violate that section of the Traffic Act or traffic regulation, then you now will be issued a ticket. And before me is a traffic ticket, and I will explain, what is incorporated in there and the various offenses that may warrant you getting a ticket, and how much each of the charges are. And you must understand, if there are multiple violations being committed by that individual, he or she may be given multiple charges, and not even though you have one ticket, that ticket may carry multiple charges, which may amount to thousands of dollars. So let me we'll go in depth on that, Mr. Laffey, and explain to persons, what they can face charges for. Let me say good morning to everyone on the live. We have Adela Bowens, and she said, "Good morning to everyone locked in to the program. Always blessed Friday to everyone." And she says she's also logged on from all the way Gutters Bay, Francis and Vincent. Good morning, my Vincentian friends. How you doing? Good morning to Thekla Rene, my sister, who was always logged on. Good morning, Thekla. How you doing? She's viewing us all the way from Toronto, Canada. So good morning to everyone who is joining us. You can highlight your concerns and make your comments on any matter that, even though we're discussing traffic violation today or the Traffic Act, you could ask any question on any matter that is pressing to you that you want addressed, any concerns that you may have regarding, your level of satisfaction or dissatisfaction with the action or activity of a police officer within the Soufrière police station, and we will try our best to either arrange for a meeting or to discuss the best solution to your problem. So let me say good morning to everyone. We also encourage persons to call in and highlight their concerns that they may have regarding any matter relating to the police, because it's our job to educate and sensitize the public on concerns that they may have. Community policing is at the heart of our policing strategy in Soufrière, and it is our objective and mission to work in collaboration with the public to create a safer environment for the people of Soufrière Choiseul. So going back to the traffic ticket, Mr. Laffey, so from what I see there, the front of the ticket, it has the date for which the ticket was issued and the time, and that is important because the time. Now, if somebody decides to challenge our ticket, we could always go back to our surveillance cameras, our different system, to be able to place that person on the scene and try to review what transpired. Did that person engage in the action that he or she, whether the police officer was being, malicious and, abusing his or her authority? So again, the time is very important. Then we have the driver's license number. And that is if the driver of that vehicle is found on the vehicle, we could now take his or her driver's license number. Then we have the license number of the vehicle, so which is your registration number of that vehicle. So if the driver is not there, you know, we will have the license plate number of the vehicle installed on the ticket, and then a verification of who the owner is. Now, what happens when the owner is not there, Mr. Laffey, but we have a vehicle registration number that we have to deal with?
When the owner is not there, on the ticket there's a area where it's fixed to the vehicle. That ticket, that area is highlighted, and we go onto our system, print out the information on that particular vehicle with the registration number, and it's assigned to that vehicle. So if the owner, well, at that point in time, the owner is responsible.
Yes.
There's a name that will be assigned to that vehicle. He or she would have to find out who was driving his vehicle at that time to take responsibility for their actions.
Yes, and that is important. You know, it's important that you vet who you borrow your vehicle to, you know, and speak to them as to the action while using your vehicle, because you are vicariously liable for any action or activity that this vehicle was involved in. So even if you were not the driver, the fact that the vehicle belongs to you, then you are responsible for the action or inaction of the operator of the vehicle at the time. So that will be done. Checks will be done with the transport division to find who the owner is, and then now the ticket will be issued in the name of the owner. So unfortunately, owner, you may be out of state, right? And you borrow your vehicle to somebody. When you do come back, you know, the ticket will be waiting for you.
By then, it may not be a ticket; it may be a warrant.
Yes, and we'll go further as we continue as to what happens for failure to pay that ticket, right? So then it has the location where the offense happened, and it has the name and address of the owner of the vehicle. And that part, after we've done the verification of the owner of that vehicle, that will be incorporated in there. But the ticket also now has a section for name of driver and address of driver. So the vehicle may belong to Kimroy Rene. However, at the time, Anthony Laffey was the driver. So the ticket now cannot be issued to Kimroy Rene, because Kimroy Rene was not the driver at the time. He was nowhere inside. And Anthony Laffey, who's the driver, driving on a seatbelt, was found with the vehicle. So that ticket will be now in the name of Anthony Laffey and not Kimroy Rene. So that covers that section. So now we go to the section that speaks of ticketable offenses, and it says which section of the act the offense is committed. And when we speak of the act, we speak of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, and then now it speaks of the amount. And the first offense we have here today is failing to display the license numbers assigned on registration in the prescribed manner. Right? So it is an offense, St. Lucian, to drive a vehicle without the registration license plate number. And not only just having the license plate number, but having it in the prescribed manner.
Meaning this font,
yes,
size, no cursive, no stylish. It's straight as the book says it.
Yes, so we see all kind of fancy license plates now, all kind of fonts, you know, all kind of color, all kind of fancy writing. There's nothing that says you could have any writing on your license plate number. It's an offense actually to have any other writing on your license plate number. The font must be bold, not in italics, right? And it must be of a size that it
particular size
easily recognizable by a police officer. So just having those deviations from the standards can result in you being issued with a ticket. And I know my officers are very, good officers. Sometimes they will speak to you about it and tell you, so your vehicle, I think, does not meet the standards specified by the Traffic Regulation and Traffic Act. Can you now change that get new plates with the prescribed size and font, and then now allow you and let you go with a warning. However, if you are warned once, you are warned twice, trust me, I could guarantee you will not be warned a third time, and then you will now have to face the penalty and pay the fine to the state. I see Romanus Ryan Melius asks a question. Can you explain what happens if a ticket is left on a vehicle but is later removed by someone else or blown away by the wind and the owner never sees the ticket? Wow. Mr. Lapi, what can you tell us on that?
That is the responsibility of the person who parked that vehicle there.
Yes.
The officer who placed that ticket there did his job. He placed it under the wiper, and it is held by the wiper. If somebody else takes it out, it is on that person, that owner of that vehicle. That's his responsibility, because it's your responsibility to see whether where you parked your vehicle, you are safe and you are free from any additional problems.
Yes. So unfortunately, Mr. Romanus, if that does happen, um, you will not have known that a ticket was issued. And what you would know, though, is that the police may be knocking on your door at 3 or 4 in the morning, depending, informing you that, sir, we have a document in our possession stating that you have failed to pay the state a certain amount of money. And as a result, the instructions are that we escort you to our beautiful holding facility at the Bodley Correctional Facilities for a certain number of days.
Until the fee is paid.
Until the fee is paid too. So it is important that you know that you can be sent to prison for violation of the traffic offenses. So it's important that you know that. Right? So for that offense, which is the license plate, a ticket can be issued in the amount of $500. $500. So just for having you have the license plate, but it does not meet the requirements, you can be charged up to $500 for that offense. Also, the other area is failing to pay annual motor vehicle or trailer license when it becomes due, and driving a motor vehicle or trailer without the relevant vehicle license. Now, we all know we have the vehicle license, we have the registration, the insurance, and the vehicle license that must be paid annually. And failure to do so will result in an offense being committed. And that also is $500. Now, I know we have some people who are quite delinquent, so they might decide to have the fancy license plates and not have the vehicle license paid. So you could be ticketed for both of that, which now gives you a total of $1,000. So just imagine.
And somebody takes that ticket off your windscreen.
So that's and like Mr. Lafley said earlier, you have a specific date to either challenge, come to the court. The officer at the back of the ticket has a date, or at the bottom has a date when you could come, when you're supposed to pay that ticket by whatever date.
Or inform the court
that
you're going to contest,
that you're going to challenge the ticket. If you do not do that and that time elapses, that ticket now will automatically double. So that $1,000 for the two offenses there will now become $2,000, right? The next offense there is operating a motor vehicle in a condition that is not roadworthy, right? You have a vehicle doesn't have the park lights, doesn't have headlamps, creating some major disturbances, and that is also an offense. And under Section 63 of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, it speaks about operating a motor vehicle in an unroadworthy condition, and that says no person shall operate a motor vehicle or trailer on a road if it is in a condition that does not meet the standard for registration prescribed under this act and the regulation. A person who operates a motor vehicle or trailer on a road contrary to Section 1 commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of no less than $500 or imprisonment for no less than 1 year, or both. So the officer can decide whether to give you a ticket or decide whether to charge you, and then if you are charged, then now you could be imprisoned for that offense, or you could face both a fine and confined, which means that you are fined the amount and confined or incarcerated at the prison, right? So basically, we all, if your vehicle cannot meet the inspection, if you go to the garage and the garage fails to pass your vehicle because it does not meet the condition, it means it's not roadworthy. Your handbrakes are not working. Your lights are not working. You don't have a spare tire on your vehicle. All those allows your vehicle to be deemed not roadworthy, and as a result, is a violation. Failing to display a registration and license sticker. When you pay your vehicle license, your sticker is supposed to be registered, to be placed on your vehicle. And there's under the act, there's a very clear area where that must be. And the act speaks of the bottom left-hand corner of your windscreen. So it must be visible to the police. So a lot of us, for example, during traffic checks, we ask the police, well, we don't like traffic checks because we feel that the police is wasting our time. But traffic checks are delayed because people fail to do what they're supposed to do. So take, for example, you do not have your sticker, your registration sticker on that vehicle, you will be stopped. And even if your insurance and everything, and you paid your vehicle license, the fact that it is not on that prescribed location on the windscreen, you will be stopped, and a ticket will be issued, and that now will cause further delay of the traffic. So take, for example, you are entering a traffic check. You realize it's a traffic check. Your insurance is intact. Your driver's license is intact. Everything is intact. But you wait until you get to the officer to take it out to try to get it and to present to the officer. So, and then you can't find it at that point in time, right? A lot of us, I know, we are paying using DigiGov, so we have copies of our receipts on our phone. If you are ending a traffic check, for God's sake, and then you are number 567 on the line, the police have not stopped you yet, but you are heading to the traffic check, vehicle is moving slowly. Why don't just begin to search for that? Get your license out of your wallet, get your insurance out of the glove compartment, get that photo of your driver's license on your phone. So as soon as you get to the officer, you show it to him, he peruses it quickly, and then allows you to continue doing whatever you're doing. However, we want to wait until we get to the officer for the officer to ask you, sir, your driver's license and registration, and then now for you to find it, further delaying the traffic. And just imagine 10 or 15 other drivers before you did the same thing that you did not get your driver's license and document. That alone now causes the traffic to be backed up by, a whole mile, thus now delaying your commute along that route. So it's important that you enter the traffic check, you may be asked for your driver's license, insurance, and documents. Have it ready so that the officer, as soon as he sees it, okay, tell you can continue. Because the officer's profile, they assess, they see the vehicle. First thing they will do is look at the exterior of the vehicle. Is the license, is the sticker there? Okay, sticker is intact. Look at your license plates. Okay, meet the standards. Okay, they quickly scan out your tires. Tires look good. Okay, so the next thing is documents. Are documents order? So if that is done quickly, then the traffic will flow quickly. However, if you don't do that and allows for the officer to ask that of you, then you will face the situation of delaying your commute and delaying the traffic further. The other offense, using or permitting the use of a motor vehicle or trailer with a number other than the license number assigned on registration. Now, we see that quite often now. People just, because they get a vehicle, they don't want to pay the relevant documents, or the vehicle don't meet the standards, right? And then now they slap a license plate on there. And we see a lot of that with the criminals also, right? So that is a serious offense. And that is one of the highest charges according to the act. So that one, you can be charged $1,000 $500 for putting a fraudulent or fake license registration number on your vehicle. Right? The other one is driving a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license or permit. Now, I know a lot of us, sometimes we forget to check our license regularly and forget the day that is expiring. I encourage everyone, use your mobile device to give you a reminder of when your driver's license is expiring. Because some of us, we drive for months not realizing that our driver's license has expired, and it's only when the police stop you now you realize that your license is expired, and then now you are asking the officer for a break. I could tell you the officer at that point can decide to use his discretion or not. However, if he or she allows you to drive, he may say, okay, I'm not going to charge you. The minute he allows you to drive away with that vehicle, he is facilitating the commission of a crime. Because the fact that you don't have a license, you should not be on the road. Because if you get involved in an accident 1 mile or half a mile away from where the stop was, right, your insurance company will not honor its commitment, because part of the insurance condition is that the driver must at the time have a valid driver's license. So just imagine you are driving your motor vehicle, the police stop you, don't issue your warning, allows you to go ahead, and then you knock a child and kill somebody along the road. That now, clearly, right, you will not be compensated by the insurance. You are not covered by your insurance. And as a result, you will now have to, one, face the penalty of driving without insurance and cover all expenses and possible lawsuits that may come because of your failure to renew your driver's license. So drivers should be encouraged to, at all times, keep a note, go in the calendar of your phone, enter the date that your license expired, and get a reminder. So at the end of the day, a week or a month before, you can get a reminder that your license expired on whatever date, and then you could make the arrangement so that when my officer stop you on the road, you don't come and say, officer, I did not know. I did not know that my license was expired, right? Because we take this, those are some of the offenses. Driver's license and insurance are some of the offenses we take serious, and we give no breaks for that. We give no breaks because the consequences of you not having insurance or driving a driver's license, it could be my family that you will get involved in an accident with. It could be my child. And then now, you being on the road without that license knocks my family member, cannot meet your commitment to pay his or her medical bill. He or she is, crippled for life, right? Because, and then now there is no form of redress for him or her because you chose not to drive, not to pay your driver's license or your insurance. So I just want to employ everybody, make sure that you do those things. Technology is there, use that at your advantage. Mr. Laffey, anything that you wish to say on that?
Oh, the officer will remind you of your license. They will be
Yes.
doing constant traffic checks
Yes.
day and night.
Day and night. And I could tell you, one thing I know about the new commissioner we have is an action man. He's one who's going to push for police operations, and we will be seeing a significant higher police operations in the weeks and months coming ahead. And traffic checks, traffic road management will be a critical aspect of his policing plan. So prepare yourself for that. Mr. Laffey, we have already reached the 11 o'clock mark. It's just crazy how time fly here, and we have very touched on, all the various components of the Traffic Act. In closing, Mr. Laffey, any last few words you want to say? Anything
Yes.
you want to highlight?
We were talking about prohibited parking within a town, but we also need to talk about parking areas in the town. We have the bus terminal at the back of the market, not where the bus is parking, at the back of the market. That's designated parking for private vehicles. The hospital area and any other street that does not have any sign that says no stopping or no parking. These signs, these areas are allocated for parking within the town for now.
Yeah, so I employ people, and what hurts me, Mr. Laffey, is, and I see a lot of the hotel workers, they're living at Wingsville on your development, or they live in not too far,
Drive the vehicle in town and park in
right?
town.
They take their vehicle, drive to town, park in town, take the staff bus, and have that vehicle parked for an entire day, right? When you could have just walked from Wingsville or walked from Forbany to take the bus. Firstly, you exercise,
Exactly.
you keep yourself fit, and then now you allow for somebody who's just passing in town to do something quickly to be able to get a parking and get out, and you see persons, just park their vehicle there throughout the day and they're nowhere inside. When they could just left the vehicle home and allowed for somebody else who have better use, for the parking to be able to get access to the parking and then to go home. So once again, thank you, Mr. Laffey, for being here with us. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
I know that you are one of the persons that you are not one of the most liked persons in Sufre, but you're one of the most respected because, and at the end of it, it's not about liking. Police is not about anybody liking anybody. It's about the respect that you do it, and persons must know that police, you do your work professionally, and as long as you are professional in your conduct, then at the end of the day, you will maintain that respect. It's not about commanding or demanding, but maintain that level of respect. And professionalism comes hand in hand with your policing work. And if you're a professional, they may not like you, but then now they will respect you for what you are. Because people know when they are doing what is wrong, They know, but they want to take a chance. And the fact that they believe they could get away with it, they will take the chance. But if they know that, hey, just tickets it around the corner and they're going to get that ticket, they will get that ticket. Let me say good morning to Shelani Rene Casbo, that my sister again in the USVI. And she's asking that time limits be high for parking areas in the town. I know it is something that is been practiced in the city of Castries. As to whether the Super Town Council will consider that, I think if the Super Town Council does that, they will be able to generate quite a bit of revenue. Because when I look at Bridge Street and Church Street, and all those streets, there are so many vehicles parked there on a daily basis. The amount of money that could be generated through that, I think, is something that should be considered by the Super Town Council. So maybe it's something I'll have to discuss with the mayor, Mr. Laffey.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. So with this, guys, let me say thank you to everyone. Thank you for listening, those both here and overseas, those who are joining us on the live. I implore you to continue to listen to Police Forum, where we try to educate and sensitize you on police matters, police incidents. I encourage you to continue to work closely with your police officers and your police stations. I am from Sufre, and I have a vested interest in the security of Sufre and Sufreans. I have an open door policy at my office. Anybody who wants to see me or to discuss any matter that is of concern to you, I am always available for that. I'm also open to have my mobile phone number be shared, and it's 485-9062. If you have anything you want to discuss with me, any sensitive issue that you want to address, you can contact me, and then I will be happy to communicate or to have it addressed, because I always speak about the fundamental principle that the public is the police and the police is the public. If we are able to work together in unison, then we'll create a safer environment for each and everyone. Everyone has a responsibility to keep his or her country safe. And if you don't do it, don't expect somebody else to do it for you. But the police now is charged with the responsibility for enforcing and acting on your information. So, I could tell you that this is one of the practices we want done, is that anytime somebody gives information, that we action that and we provide a level of response to you. So once again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of this police forum. Continue to share your sensitive information. Don't forget to contact the police on any sensitive matter regarding the police tip line 555 or the police tip line app, which can be found on both iOS and Apple Play Store. You could get that information. You could give that information to anybody on anything that you believe is of a sensitive nature and you want addressed. Thank you so very much. It was a pleasure being. See you next Friday, God's willing. Thank you for joining us on Police Forum.